John Erickson, Advanced Ball Striking. I'm going to talk a little bit about grip pressure. Now, most people are taught to have a very light grip pressure on the club. And the idea of that is that by having a light grip pressure, we're not interfering with the release of the club. We're letting centrifugal force just take care of that for us. It's going to square up the club face for us. We have a nice light grip pressure. The club's going to move at a nice velocity and hit perfect golf shots for us. Well, that's all good as long as we're hitting the ball in the center of the club face. Now, what happens if we calculate in a little bit of human error and we don't hit the ball in the center of the club face all the time? We hit the ball, let's say, out to the toe of the club. Now, if we have a light grip pressure, then we don't have any resistance to the rotation of the shaft. So in other words, when our golf club hits the ball with a light grip pressure, that club face opens and the ball tends to go the direction of where the club face was at separation. In other words, when the golf ball leaves the club head. So if this deflection, if this club head opens up because we have a light grip and it sends the ball off to the right. So let's suppose that we have a firm grip pressure, very firm. And we do the same thing. We come in and we hit the ball out on the toe, but this time we don't have the shaft twisting. We have it staying more stationary, and we're minimizing this deflection, this opening of the club face due to the forces of impact. And we are tough and rigid, and then we hit the ball, and that ball tends to fly much straighter because the club face doesn't open up as much because we have a more secure grip on the club, a firmer grip pressure. This is very real world stuff, especially when we're dealing with high impact speeds, getting the club moving 90, 100, 110 miles an hour, hitting a golf ball. It can really send this thing open. So the golf club manufacturers have said, well, we're going to put more weight out on the toe, or we're going to have a perimeter weighting of the club. Well, the problem with perimeter weighting of the club is that you lose the feel and the sense of awareness of where you're hitting the ball in the club. So your feedback coming up the shaft isn't as good if you can't tell exactly where you hit it. And if you don't get good feedback, then you tend to not know where you're hitting and be able to make the correct adjustments in your golf swing based upon the golf ball that you just hit. Now, if you look at this club, this is a 1 iron, and I use this a lot. I know they don't make these much anymore, but you can see that the mass, there's much more mass out towards the toe than there is towards the heel. So this would be the correct way to weight a golf club. If I'm hitting the ball in close towards the heel, I've got plenty of counter mass out here. These will be good shots. And if I hit it a little bit out towards the toe, I've got the assistance of some mass out at the toe. I don't really need to have the back of the club excavated into hollowness. I would be better to have all of that weight out near the toe. In this case, if I'm planning on hitting it out near the toe of the club, then this would be beneficial for me. I don't need it hollow in the back. Secondly, if I have a firm grip pressure coming through the strike, I really don't need a cavity-backed iron because my club face is not going to be pushed open nearly as much if I have a firm grip pressure. So this way I can get the proper feedback from my miss hits. I know exactly where I'm hitting it, and I have the mass on the toe to protect me in the event that I hit the ball a little bit out on the toe. So this is a properly designed golf club, and with a proper swing and the proper grip pressure, it's going to put us in good position to hit consistent golf shots the way we want to. So now we're going to take a look at a little video I threw together where I demonstrate what happens to the club face when the ball is hit with a light grip pressure or with a firm grip pressure. Now we can design our swing so that we can use a firm grip pressure if we're doing the right things in our swing, applying the right kinds of pressures through our body, rotating our torso and shoulders correctly, and having the right spatial awareness of where we're moving the club through and beyond impact. So it gets a bit more complicated, but we can design things to where we can have a firm grip pressure, utilize the advantages of that, and really not be sacrificing anything in the area of distance or accuracy at all. So let's take a look and see if we can learn something here. Okay, we're going to do a little experiment here. As you can see, I've got the ball here, and I'm going to put it out on the toe of this 1-iron here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swing this back and forth, and I am going to strike. When I come through, I'm going to strike right out on the toe of the club with very light grip pressure, and we're going to see that what's going to happen is when I hit the ball, this club face is going to open, and this ball's going to go out to the right because I have very light grip pressure. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit the ball out on the toe, except this is going to be with a firm grip pressure. I'm going to put this on slow motion. So there we have it, light versus firm grip pressure.